Wow, it is great to be able to visit with you today. I am excited to say hello to you from the beautiful community of Mount Pleasant. It is a little bit rainy and cold this morning, but you know what? That's okay. I believe this is March 21st, and so yesterday was the first day of spring, and so there's hope. Okay, so if you're worried about the weather or cold temperatures and so on, it's okay. God has given us a brand new season, and I love the way God does that for us. He just when we're starting to get ready for change, here comes the next season, and God gives us 3 months, and then we move along and grow and change, and the grass gets greener and the trees start to bud, and so it's ready. We're ready for spring, and some really neat things coming up. I'm just very excited about the life of our church. A week from Sunday is Easter. April 1st this year is Easter, and we are putting together a really neat program for Easter this coming year. And I love our music. We're going to have drama mixed in with the worship, and our message will be, we'll have a lot of fun with that. It's April 1st, so the message is going to be Fools for Christ, and we're going to tie that in with the resurrection power of Easter, which is the theme of our Easter service this Sunday, April 1st. I want to invite you. I hope you can come. If you do not have a place to be, or if you would love to come join us, I'd love to have you. I think you're going to have a great time at the Community Church of Mount Pleasant on Easter Sunday this year. A couple things coming up this week, actually. This Saturday is a really neat event that I've been involved with since its inception for many years now. It's called Joy Prom, and this year it will be held at the J.M. Robinson High School. Joy Prom is an event. It's a prom for special needs people of all ages, from all areas, from all over the state, even the southeast really. And last year we had, I believe, around 1,300 special needs people, not including their families and caregivers, and Sherry and Donnie Peel, who are wonderful friends of our church. They do this each year, and we're supporting them this year as a church. We'll be there with volunteers. We'll be helping, and just can't wait. 5 to 9 this Saturday, Joy Prom at the J.M. Robinson High School, and we will be there in force. If you're going to be there, wear a CCMP shirt, because you need to be able to identify yourself as a worker, as a volunteer. And if you don't have a Joy Prom shirt, wear a CCMP shirt. And that way we will be able to be identified. And I look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be a phenomenal time. We had a great time last week. We had another Place weekend, and a wonderful group of attendees for Place. And they have glowing testimonies from the things that they learned, and the way that God worked in their heart. And so much appreciate our Place staff and volunteers who help. And Sunday, of course, we had church at Community Church. We had our first, we started a new series. This series that we're in now is on the life of Samuel. We learned about Samuel as a boy, and we learned about how his mom was burdened because she could not have children. And she prayed, poured her heart out to God, and God gave her a man, a boy's son, a child, and it was Samuel. She made a promise, and God, if you'll give me a son, I will dedicate him to you. I'll give him to you to serve the rest of his life, all of his days. And she did that. She kept her promise and took little Samuel to the tabernacle in Shiloh to the priest named Eli. And Samuel worked there, and then one night Eli got this call. Samuel heard the call, and God was calling him, and he said, "Who is this? Eli, is that you?" "No." And again, "Samuel." And the third time Samuel woke up, and Eli had instructed him, said, "This is the Lord. You say, Lord, your servant heareth." And Samuel responded in obedience. And he said, "Lord, here I am. You lead me. You tell me what you want me to do." So the message Sunday was about saying yes to the Lord when he calls you. And that's what we're going to study. This week we have the second message in our 4-part series on the life of Samuel. It's going to be about the Philistines and some interesting things that happened in our sermon this coming Sunday. We had a great time at the Soup Kitchen Sunday. Man, I love this event. The Soup Kitchen we have here occasionally at our church to raise money for our missions trip this summer. Last night we had a meeting about those interested in going on the missions trip. So just a lot of momentum, a lot of really neat things that are going on in our church. And again, this week, I want to mention this too. We have CPR training that we provide for you here at the church this Saturday, 9 to noon here at the barn, if you're interested in CPR training. And then Sunday night, let me talk about Sunday night a little bit. Sunday night, we're going to meet here, and we always meet here on Sunday nights. The youth group meets as well as prayer and planning for the adults. Well, this is going to be our Ignite Leadership Training. We do this quarterly here at our church. And this Sunday night, we're going to have a food event. It's going to be a potluck dinner. So you bring your favorite, whatever it is you want to bring. A meal, a dish, a dessert, whatever. And we're just going to eat together and have fellowship, and then we're going to have about an hour's worth of training. And we're going to talk about systems and our purpose and how that works in our moving people along in our church. So Sunday night this week here at the barn, potluck dinner, and we'll have an Ignite Leadership Training, and I hope you can all make it for that. And then, of course, next Saturday will be an important day. Folks, we're getting ready for the move to the mill. For those of you that maybe don't come regularly or aren't kept up on all of the things, our church is moving our location, and it'll be this spring, and we're getting very close to moving over into our new office complex. It is on Franklin Street, right in Mount Pleasant, on Highway 73, and next Saturday we're going to have a work day to meet over at the mill, at the property, and clean and fix and paint and start working on our new facility. And we're getting ready real soon to be able to move to the mill. Now we're going to start that day with a breakfast. You know we like to eat. So March 31st, Saturday, it won't be just a men's breakfast. It will be a church-wide breakfast here at the barn. And then we will go over to the mill and have a work day and prepare for our move. Wow. I know that's a lot, but man, it's just exciting to me. I was out last night visiting several new families, and there's a lot of momentum, a lot of enthusiasm. People love our church. People are excited about our church and the opportunities and the things that God is on the move here at the Community Church of Mount Pleasant. If you do not have a church home, I'd love for you to come visit us here at the Community Church in Mount Pleasant. We meet at the elementary school. 10:30 every Sunday morning, and I'd love for you to come and check us out, the Community Church of Mount Pleasant. Real quick devotional today from the book of John, and I want to talk about a little bit of a warning, a little bit of a danger zone here for us as we see. And I was thinking about a phenomenon. I was thinking about something, a condition that happens sometimes. I used to work with college students and high school students and as well, and a lot of times, you know, students in school and you have material that you need to learn because there's going to be a test. And a lot of times students would memorize and cram and study, and they'd learn this material, and then they would have the test, and they'd go put out the information on the test, and then after the test was over, the material magically left them. You know why? Because they really didn't learn it. They crammed it in, and they tried to get it in their mind so they could put it on paper and put it down for a test and pass the test. But many times, once that test was turned in, they didn't really know the material. Maybe they had it in their mind, but they never really learned it. They never really applied it. And I think that is called wasted knowledge. And it happens not just to students. It happens to us as Christians. Because a lot of times we Christians think that we know something. We know all the answers. We know all the right answers. We maybe can quote verses. But it could be that we haven't practiced. We have not applied. Let me read you this passage from John chapter 8. And I'll start with verse 39. Then answered and said unto them, Abraham is our father. Jesus said unto them, if you were Abraham's children, you would do those works of Abraham. So see, here's my pedigree. We're Abraham. We are passed down through the lineage of Abraham, and Jesus said, well, you know what? If you were Abraham's children, you would act like Abraham. And there's a gap here. But now you seek to kill me, Jesus said. A man that hath told you the truth, which I have heard of God. This did not Abraham. You're Abraham's. You know all the rules. You have the pedigree. You know all the answers. But you're really not practicing them. You've got it all memorized. You can tell people that the right answers. And many times we have to realize this fact. You're not close to God because you know all the answers. Just because you can memorize all the verses, and just because you have the pedigree, and just because you have the Sunday school badges, and just because you've been in church, that doesn't make you automatically close to God. So it could be that what you have is wasted knowledge. You know the answers, but just knowing the right answers doesn't make it work. Let me go over to the book of James, and I'll close with this passage in James. James chapter 1, verses 22 through 25. Listen to this. This is really the key. This is the bottom line. In the book of James chapter 1, verse 22, be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only. So you know the truth, you've heard the truth, you've been in church, but do you practice it? Are you a hearer only, or are you a doer? You know what I would rather have? I would rather be someone who does the truth rather than just speaks the truth. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man beholding his face in a glass. He's looking in the mirror. He looks at himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whosoever looketh into the perfect law of liberty, which is the word of God, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. So I want to warn you today. I want to warn us today. Let us not be like the students who cram information, write it down on a test, and then we forget it. Just knowing all the right answers does not make you godly. There's more. You know what? Jesus is looking for us to be real and apply what we know to be true. Not just know it up in our heads, but live it in our lives. So let's not be guilty of having all this wasted knowledge. Let us use the wisdom and the knowledge that we have from the Word of God and practice it daily. Well, I'm glad to be able to visit with you today. Thanks for joining us. I hope I can see you this Sunday at the Community Church of Mount Pleasant. God bless you.